syllabus. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Corporate Finance online classes. This is Dr. Mahesh M. Munjeri, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, I hope you can recall that we were learning chapter number 2, time value of money from unit 1. So in first class, we learned little bit theoretical concepts of what is time value of money and what is its rationale and its application. And then in the previous class, we just started learning about the different techniques of measuring time value. And we also learned the first technique, okay, that is compounding technique. In that single cash flow, annual compounding. Okay, so I hope you remember that. Now let me share the PDF file again. It will continue from the semi-annual compounding. Students, can you see this PDF file?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So before I begin, I hope you understand that I have shared a reading material even for chapter 2 today. Some of you have replied also. Okay, those who don't have a habit of visiting Google Classroom, please make it a habit every day without fail. Visit Google Classroom, because anyway you receive notification every time a new upload is shared. Okay, so I hope you can recall time value of money techniques, compounding technique and discounting technique. And we were learning compounding technique. In simple words, I told you, converting present values into future values. Say for example, if I deposit 1,000 rupees today at the rate of 6% interest in a fixed deposit for 5-year period. So how much money I would get at the end of 5 years? Okay, if I can calculate that, that is nothing but future value of my 1,000 rupees deposited today. Okay, so if I can find out the future value of my 1,000 rupees invested today, okay, then it will give me a fair basis of a comparison on which I can make a decision. Okay, so in compounding technique, okay, we have three situations. One is the future value of a single cash flow. Okay, so in that in previous class, we learned about how to calculate the future value when the interest is compounded annually. Interest is compounded annually means interest is credited only once in a year. Okay, so I hope you remember that. Okay, then next, today we are moving on to the second situation in a single cash flow, that is semi-annual compounding. Okay, so semi-annual compounding means, okay, where interest is credited twice in a year, means at the end of 6 months each. At the end of 6 months each. So I hope what I'm explaining is not difficult to understand. And those who are not aware, okay, it is about general knowledge, or okay, if you visit the bank and if you are opening a fixed deposit or a cumulative deposit, you can ask always, okay, whether interest is credited annually, semi-annually, or quarterly. Okay, so and you can get the information always. So now we are learning about how to calculate the future value, okay, of a present investment, which is a single cash flow, only one amount. So semi-annual compounding. So what I said, interest is credited twice in a year at the end of 6 months each. So semi-annual compounding means that there are 2 compounding periods within the year. Interest is actually paid after every 6 months at a rate of 1/2 of the annual rate of interest. So if the rate of interest is 6%, at the end of 6 months, okay, 3% interest will be credited. After another 6 months, and remaining 3% interest will be credited. This way it continues. Okay. So now in the previous class, I also mentioned, okay, assuming that Mr. X places his savings of 1,000 rupees in a 2-year time deposit scheme of a bank which yields 6% interest compounded over compounded over 4 periods of each of 6 months duration. So after 6 months, 3% interest. After 12 months, okay. So another 3 months, another 3% interest. After 18 months, another 3% interest, and after 24 months, another 3% interest. This way, annually it will be 6%, but half yearly, semi-annually, it will be half of the rate of interest percent. Okay, so again, if we actually go ahead, okay, with the manual calculation, as you can see, it will be too time consuming and very lengthy, and it may also give scope to errors. Okay, so now we are going to use a formula, a technique from time value of money, and let us see how easy it is to calculate. Okay, how easy it is to calculate. Okay, with the help of this formula. Okay. The equation 2.1, okay, what we have already learned, no need to refer it now, can be modified as below. Okay, so A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus small I divided by small m, bracket complete, whole raised to small m into n. Okay, so this is equation 2.2. So you can understand where, okay, remaining all we know. P is principal at the beginning of the year. Small I is the rate of interest. Small n is the number of years. Okay, only m we don't know. So m is the number of times per year compounding is made. M is equal to number of times per year compounding is made. Okay. So in semi-annual compounding, where interest is credited after every 6 months. So in 1 year, so each 6-month period is called as a compounding period. Okay. So how many times interest is credited in case of semi-annual compounding? Anyone
2 times,
can?
sir.
Yeah, Keshav says 2 times. Very good. Okay. So in this case, okay, the above example, semi-annual compounding, interest is credited twice in a year. So small m is equal to 2 here. Small m is equal to 2. Okay, so you first listen, then we shall consider writing later. I'll give you some guidelines to write later. So Mr. M, okay, makes a deposit of 1,000 rupees into a bank, which gives a rate of interest of 6%, and where the interest is, okay, credited after every 6 months. And he makes a deposit for a period of 2 years. So using that data, if I fill A is equal to P, okay, see this P, students pay attention, P is 1,000, principal at the beginning of the year, into bracket 1 plus, okay, small I, okay, small I is 6%, okay. So I cannot write here 6% divided by 2. There will be 2 different types of numbers. One is in percentage, another is a normal number. So I have to write percentage in normal number. So what I do, 6 divided by 100 is nothing but 6%. So 6 divided by 100 gives me the answer 0.06. So small I, which is the rate of interest, is 6%. I rewrite it as 0.06 divided by small m. Small m is number of times per year compounding is made. So in case of semi-annual compounding, 2 times per year interest is credited. So small m is small 2. Sorry, small m is 2. So bracket complete raised to small m into n. So small m is the number of times, okay, interest is credited in a year. So that is 2. And small n is number of years, which is again 2. Okay. So once you fill this equation, it is just for your knowledge. See, no need to simplify this. No need to simplify this. You only have to write for your understanding. Okay. Then, okay. So you need to refer table A1. 1 minute. Let me show both the pages. Yeah. Okay. So you need to refer table A1. Okay. Title of the table is compound sum of 1 rupee. Now pay attention. Okay, pay attention. See, definitely there is something different here with respect to semi-annual compounding and annual compounding. See, small n, the deposit is made for a period of 2 years. Pay attention. Okay, and the rate of interest is 6%. But we are not going to refer the second year row and 6% interest column. That is the only twist here. So please pay attention. See, we need to refer fourth year row. We need to refer fourth year row. The reason is it is semi-annual compounding, and each compounding period in this case we have to assume it as 1 year, because the interest is credited 4 times in a period of 2 years. So each compounding period we have to assume it as 1 year. Okay. So in first year there are 2 times interest is credited. In second year another 2 times interest will be credited. So total 4 compounding periods. So we are going to consider each compounding period as 1 year. So we are going to assume that there are 4 years. Then rate of interest, please check. Okay. So we are not considering 6%, which is the actual rate of interest, but we are considering 1/2 of the actual interest rate. So half of 6% is 3%. Okay. This you will get the exact same value. You'll get exactly the same value. Okay. So I hope you understood this concept. I have written it. So now we will refer the table A1. Yeah, I think I forgot to open the table. 1 minute. Okay, students, I hope you can see this table A1, the compound sum of 1 rupee.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So we are going to consider fourth year row, as there are 4 compounding periods. So we are going to consider each compounding period as 1 year. So fourth year row, and not 6% interest, okay, but 3% interest, 1/2 of the actual rate of interest. So what is the corresponding value? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how much is it?
1.126.
Yes, okay. 1.126. Okay, the value corresponding to fourth year row and 3% interest column is 1.126. Okay. So I need to every time make a new share now. But anyway, it's okay. Yeah. So now, so what I need to do is just fill that value. C is equal to 1000 into bracket 1.126. If you multiply both, okay, so you will get the answer 1126 rupees. Okay, Mr. X will get 1126 rupees after 2 years when the interest is credited semi-annually at the rate of 6%. So the only difference is referring the year and interest columns. Okay, you do not write anything, I will tell you. Any doubts now?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's great. Huh? That's great. Okay, now pay attention. This is a simple decision actually. Even if you ask the bank clerk, okay, if you deposit 1000 rupee for 2 years at the rate of 6% interest, and if the bank is crediting interest semi-annually, okay, so you can always find out what will be the future value of your, okay, investment. So this is the minimum how much you are going to earn. It is going to be 1126. So if you have any other investment options, you can compare that with this 1126 rupees. Okay. So if you can earn more than 1126 rupee after 2 years by investing 1000 rupee today, definitely you should invest in the other option. But if the earnings from the other option are less than 1,126, then you should not accept the other option. Better you deposit your amount here in the bank at the rate of 6% interest. So this is called decision making, how it is used. In next units, you will learn far bigger decisions like financing decisions, investment decisions on the basis of time value of money concept. Okay. So I hope that was easy to understand. Now pay attention. Okay. See where last class I struggled actually. Okay. I asked you to write down. It becomes very difficult because in the classroom, I can dictate and students can note down, or I can write on the board and students can note down, and I will have a live contact. Okay. So the pace will be matched. But here online now it is not possible for me to find out how many have finished writing, how many are yet to finish. Okay. And it also consumes a lot of time. So what I'll do is the way now I explained slowly and in detail, I will explain. Okay. I will share this PDF file to you. I will share the PDF file to you. Whatever way, I don't mind sharing in it advance or sharing it after the class, whatever way you want. Okay, you tell your decision through CRs. Purna and Keshav can inform me. Should I share this PDF file, solved numericals, before the class or after the class? But remember, if I share it in advance, that does not mean, okay, you can go through it and remain absent. Okay. So then once I complete the class, daily how much I complete, that much you can write in the notebook in a very proper way, very good way, with neat tables, columns you can make. Okay, in the evening you can spend just half an hour. It will not be more than half an hour required. Okay, so you can spend half an hour, refer the PDF file and only write that much what is covered in that day. Is that okay, students?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And remember, maintaining a fair notebook is compulsory. Okay, so I may, okay, I have not decided, but let's see. Earlier, all the classes I used to consider fair notebook for one CTA component, 10 marks, and another CTA, some numericals given to solve. Okay, so I have not decided, but whatever it is, if you want to really learn, make a fair notebook. Okay, without discipline, this subject cannot be learned. Remember, please. So maintaining a fair notebook is nothing but maintaining discipline or learning with discipline. And all the theory part you need not write in your notebook. Theory part I will be giving you in the PDF file for reading. You can take a printout or you can maintain the soft copy. Only numericals, unit wise, chapter wise. Okay, you have to go on writing very systematically. I hope my instructions are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So now let me move on to the third case in a single cash flow of compounding technique. Okay, so I'll repeat, not a problem. So we are learning time value of money techniques. There are two techniques. One is compounding and another is discounting. So presently we are learning compounding technique. Okay, so we have two cases in compounding technique. First case we are learning future value of single cash flow. So far what we have learned here is, okay, so future value of a single cash flow when interest is credited annually once in a year. Okay, so we also found out future value of a single cash flow when interest is credited semi-annually, twice in a year. And the third situation is future value of a single cash flow when interest is credited quarterly, means every once in a 3 months. Once in a 3 months, interest is credited. Okay. I repeat, quarterly compounding means that there are 4 compounding periods within the year. There are 4 compounding periods within the year. Okay. So can anyone tell, just for example, if there are 4 compounding periods within the year, and if a person makes a deposit for 2 years, for a period of 2 years, how many compounding periods will be there? 8 compounding periods. Very good. Excellent. Okay. And in the time value tables, table A1, Which year row we have to consider? It is a 2-year time deposit. But it is a
8, sir.
8 years.
Very good, Keshav, and others. Okay. So we have to consider the 8th year row. Very good. And if the rate of interest is, let us say, 8%, what rate of interest we are going to consider in the column?
2%. 2%.
2%. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So using the above illustration, there will be 8 compounding periods, and the rate of interest for each compounding period shall be 1.5%. That is 1/4 of 6%. Okay. So any doubts?
No, sir.
So yeah, I hope that is simple. But for quarterly compounding, I am not considering the above case as it is slightly complicated, and anyway that you will not receive because quarterly interest, okay, 1/4 of 6% is 1.5%. You don't have a table of 1.5% in the time value table. Still, it is calculated, but I am not taking that example. So I'll give you a different example. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. So I will consider this example, which is simple for us because we are just learning. We are understanding what exactly are these techniques. Okay. Once I complete all the techniques, you will get, okay, slightly moderate or complex type of numerical problems. Okay. So for quarterly compounding, assume Mr. A places his savings of 1,000 rupees in a 2-year time deposit scheme of a bank, which yields 8% interest. Okay. Compounded over 8 periods of 3 months each duration. So every 3 months, once in a 3 months, interest is credited. What is the amount Mr. A will receive? What is the amount Mr. A will receive after 2 years? Okay. So the equation remains same. Okay. So please only pay attention to the equation. A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus small I divided by small m bracket complete raised to m into n. Okay. Now using the same equation, so we are going to calculate the future value of 1,000 rupee invested by Mr. A in a 2-year time deposit period, which yields 8% interest, and interest is credited 4 times in a year or quarterly compounded. Okay. So A is equal to, so we'll fill the values. P is investment at the beginning of the year, 1,000 rupees. P into bracket 1 plus, okay, small I 8%. 8 divided by 100 is 0.08 divided by small m. Small m is number of compounding periods in a year. Since it is quarterly compounding, means once in a 3 months, there are 4 quarters. So small m is 4 raised to small m into n. Small m is number of compounding periods in a year, which are 4. Small n is number of years 2. Okay. So I hope you can understand. 4 into 2 is 8. So by referring table A1, the compound sum of 1 rupee, we need to refer 8th year row. 4 into 2 is equal to 8. We need to refer 8th year row and 2% interest column because we are going to consider 1/4 of 8%. So that is what is denoted here also. See, 0.08 divided by 4 is 0.02 or 2% interest. Okay. So that is the only difference. So I repeat, by referring table A1, we need to refer 8th year row because there are 4 compounding periods and in a year, and there are 2 years. So 4 into 2, 8. So we are going to consider 8th year row and 2% column because it's quarterly compounding. We are going to consider interest at its 1/4. So 1/4 of 8% is, okay, 2%. So I'll share the time value table again because every time it is asking for a new share. Okay. So I hope students you can see the table A1, the compound sum of 1 rupee. So I'm considering the 8th year row. I hope you can see the cursor moving. 8th year row and 2% interest column. 8th year row and 2% interest column. Can anyone identify what is the value?
1.172.
Yes, 1.172. Yes, thank you. 1.172. Okay. So if I fill simply that value, A is equal to 1000 into bracket the value 1.172, by multiplying I'll get the answer 1172 rupees. So the after a period of 2 years, Mr. A will get back 1172 rupees, where interest was credited quarterly and the rate of interest was 8%. So for single cash flow, now we learned when the interest is compounded annually, once in a year, when the interest is compounded semi-annually, twice in a year, and when the interest is compounded quarterly, 4 times in a year. How to find out the future value of present investment in case of single cash flow with 3 cases. So anybody has any doubt, you can ask me. Even small doubt. See, and there is a reason also why I'm going so slow on time value of money. Without time value of money, unit chapter number 2, unit number 2, unit number 3, you won't be able to solve, huh? Remember. And I found students struggling to refer table. Instead of giving the table into their hands, showing them, holding their finger and pointing it on the value. I've seen students struggling to find the value from tables. But anyway, everybody need not be like that. Okay, so if you don't have any query, then the meeting is coming to an end. You can please log out and join back the same meeting. Okay. So first I'll take attendance, then I'll go ahead with compound sum of annuity.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Now the meeting will close. Once the meeting starts, you can ask. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.